Ashton Hall, Saratoga Water, and do you need a morning routine? So I'm pretty sure right now you've seen all the videos from this guy named Ashton Hall, who's an influencer. It's all ripped up, jacked up, right? And he has this crazy morning routine. It's a morning routine where you get up at like 4 a.m. in the morning, you're dipping your face in ice cold water, you're putting orange peels or banana peels on your face, you're reading, meditating, all this stuff, right? All this stuff just to get ready to actually do some real work. And here's the thing, we've seen dozens of videos, probably even hundreds of influencers do videos like this, showing you their morning routine, their night routine, how they go to the gym and all this other stuff. And the question is do you really need a routine like this in order to be successful? We're going to answer that question in this podcast. And the reason why is because there's a lot of stuff online. There's a lot of gurus that's out there that's throwing a lot of things at you. Some of them, they're good stuff. Others, not so good. You need to be able to decipher who's giving you the real stuff and who's giving you the fake stuff. It's kind of like going into a mall or something like that and trying to buy like a Louis bag or Gucci bag and trying to figure out if it's real or fake. Well, honestly, just go to a Gucci store, right? But that's neither here nor there. We're going to talk all about that stuff in this podcast because I want to make sure that you guys are being productive, successful entrepreneurs, working professionals, and just people. And we want to find out, is a morning routine necessary in order to do that? Now we're going to jump into point number one. And before we do, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can join my channel, be a part of this community, because this is a community for entrepreneurs and professionals looking to level up their mindset, their mental health by using things like acceptance and commitment therapy. So as a therapist, that is the framework that I use. And instead of having you guys pay me thousands of dollars in individual therapy, I just give you guys the free stuff in videos like this. So just sit back, let me do all the work, and just listen and apply. That's all you got to do. So with that being said, let's get into point number one. So I'm gonna tell you guys a quick story about my own morning routine. So I used to be the guy that got up at 5 a.m. And the reason why I did that is because I scheduled my first therapy session at 10 a.m. So what that mean was I had 5 hours all to myself. And within these 5 hours, I would go to the gym, right? So I'm in the gym by 5:30. I'm home by 7. When I get home, I'm showering, I'm meditating, I'm working on funnels, I'm reading books, doing everything before I get to my first client. And this is the way that I would invest in me and my business before I gave those investments to my clients. And here's the thing, I love them, but I tell my clients, I gotta make sure that I'm good so that I'm able to serve you guys in a good way. It's only fair. And that's my way of being selfish for myself. Now, with all that being said, my morning routine, it changed. And the biggest reason why is because I became a father. When I became a father, I was someone who went from being in the 5 a.m. club to now I'm part of the 8 a.m. club. And what that means is typically my day doesn't get started till 8 a.m. And the reason why is because, man, I got to take care of my son. Got to get him ready to daycare. Got to do all that stuff. Be a dad, right? And that stuff is important to me, but it takes time that I'm not willing to give up because my son, he's everything. Now, here's the thing. It's important to have a routine. It's just that it doesn't have to be in the morning. And that's the biggest thing I want you guys to remember. So do you need a morning routine? No, the question is do I have a routine? And that's point number one. Having a routine is more important than having it being in the morning, the afternoon, or whatever the case it may be. So whether you're part of the 8 a.m. club, 5 a.m. club, or the 5 p.m. club, you need to do something that's consistently getting you ready to do the work or to help you to de-stress from doing the work that you've been doing all day. Now, the reason why this was important for me was because during that time, right? So before I had my son, my business was struggling. I was losing $3,000 a month and that was killing me. Now, the only thing that kept me going through all that was because I had a routine that actually prepped me for that day. Without having that, I would have gave up, went back to my job as a high school counselor and been miserable. A routine is something that gets you ready when emotionally you're not ready. And the reason why is because you're guaranteed to do X, Y, Z, just like when you wake up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, I'm guessing you're probably someone that goes to the bathroom, brushes their teeth, take a shower, and put on deodorant. And you don't think about that stuff. It's routine, right? And that's the biggest thing. Get a routine so ingrained in you that you don't have to think about it. So now you can save mental space to do all the other stuff that you need to do. All right, so point number two, and I love this point. I actually got this from Kenny the Jet Smith. So he's a basketball player. And what he said was when it comes to being extraordinary, you need to do extra with the ordinary. And I love that. And I'll give you guys a great example. So for me, whenever I get a new client that wants to work with me, we get on the phone, we do a consultation. Now, the questions that I asked him during this consultation is not by random. It's not by chance. I read a book by Dan Henry. You can look him up. And he gave me all the questions that I need to ask a prospective buyer when it comes to my services. And what I did was I took those questions, put them in a Word document. And what I do when I get on the phone with every new client, right? Every new prospective client, I literally write down every word that they say when I'm asking them these questions. Now, here's the thing, that may seem excessive, but the reason why I do this is because when I later go and do my marketing and I have an avatar, so that's a client, a persona, whatever it is, however you want to put it, when I have an ideal client, I can go to their document and I can take all the words that they use when it came to describing what it is that they want, their obstacles and the pain points that they've gone through. Now, what that is so valuable for me is because I can take that and I can persuade a lookalike client just like them. So I'll give you guys a great example. Now, this is a real client that I've had. I once had a client who was making 8 figures running a tech company out there in San Francisco. All right. Right. Like, it's a rare client. If I want to find very similar clients like him, I need to figure out what was it that he wanted. What was the things that was stopping him from getting what he wanted? And what was the desires that he had? Once I figure out those things, I can put that out into the marketplace and catch other fishies like him, right? Some high level, high performing fishies. Now, if I don't have that information, if I'm like other therapists, I don't want to say most, but if I'm like other therapists or even other coaches, I would get on the phone and I would just wing it. But if I winged it, I wouldn't have all the data that I have. And I've been doing this for so long that I literally have a document that's about 500 to 600 pages long. That's a lot of people. And then from there, I can easily figure out who it is that I want to attract, how to attract them, and to ensure that I'm able to close them when it comes to the sale. And because of that, I like to say that I do pretty well as a therapist. Not too many people don't want to work with me. And as a matter of fact, right now I'm fully booked. But that's what it means to be extra with the ordinary. When you do this, it makes it very hard for you to be stopped. Now, how does this, what does that have to do with a morning routine, right? Someone may look at someone like Ashton Hall or other influencers or whatever and say, man, that's a lot to get ready for a day, right? Well, if you want to be a part of the 1%, you got to be extra with the ordinary, because the way some people work is they literally get up, and because they work from home, they walk straight to that desk in their pajamas and they just start working. Now, here's the thing. They could be productive, but if they're not, there's something to be said about being able to get your day started on the right note. And doing that can require an extra routine. And there's nothing wrong with being extra with something like a morning routine, or as I said in the first point, just a routine in general. Wow, man, so glad you guys made it to point number 3. Look at you, man, being a completer. That's what I love about people like you. People like you are someone that clicks a video, they watch it all the way through, and then they apply it. But also what's important is that they actually subscribe, right? They are part of my community. These are the people that are part of the 1%. These are the people that are extra with the ordinary. You see how that works together? All right. So point number 3, guys, this is point number 3. I want you guys to listen up. I save the best for last. I always do that within all my videos. And point number 3 is this. What's more important than a morning routine is the work that your morning routine is preparing you to do. All right. That's point number 3. Now, the reason why this is the case is because someone like Ashton Hall, their end is, for some of us, the means. And what I mean by that is his morning routine, the video that he did, if that is all he did for that day, he had a successful day. He reached his end. And as someone at this point in time has 10.9 million followers, by the time you watch this, it could easily be 12, 13, or 20. For him, man, he's reached his end. But for you, do not get lost in the small details. Your morning routine is not the end all be all. As a matter of fact, it's not the thing that's going to tell you whether or not a morning routine is required for you. What's going to actually tell you if the morning routine is required is the work that you're able or not able to do once the day gets started. Because if you're someone that is so tired from their morning routine because they got up at 4 a.m. and now it's 9, if you're so tired that you can't go to work, well, guess what? That morning routine sucks. You may be someone that needs to wake up and go straight to work. And if you're able to be productive, hey, your morning routine is simple. You just hit the off button when it comes to your alarm and you get up and you go to your desk. That is a routine. That is a morning routine as well. So I don't want you guys to get lost in the means, because there's something more important than that, and that is the end. So what I want you guys to do is gauge yourself based on whether or not your morning routine or even your night routine is actually helping you to either be productive or to de-stress from the day, if that is the purpose of your routine. Use this to determine if you should keep it or if you should ditch it. All right, so real quick, I'm going to go over the 3 points that I just made real quick, guys. So the first point that I made was that a routine is necessary, but it doesn't have to be in the morning. So whether you're part of the 5 a.m. club, 8 a.m. club, or even the 8 p.m. club, just have some type of routine, guys, and that is enough. The second part that I made is that, guys, to be extraordinary, you got to be extra with the ordinary. Do not think that you can just be your everyday Joe and have unimaginable results. You can't be a part of the 1% if you're doing what the other 99% is doing. It just doesn't make sense, and that's just bad math, to be honest. And then the last point that I made is remind yourself what's more important than the morning routine is the work that your morning routine is preparing you to do. The work is the work because it's the work. All right, do not forget that. If you get lost in the weeds, trust me when I say you're going to be someone that's running in place, thinking that they're making progress, only to look up and you're in the same place you were 5 years ago. This is what it looks like when someone's running on a treadmill versus running on the street. Guys, you don't have to make it that difficult. So do you need a morning routine? Well, it's up to you. And for someone like Ashton, hey, it works for him, but doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. Nah, trust me, you can be successful with it or without it. It's all about the person behind the routine. All right, guys, my name is Coach Wells. I'm a licensed therapist. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys later.